ready for hot takes and insight from local industry experts in real estate, business, and lifestyle. He used to play ball with the Padres. He played hockey for the Lobos. Now they're crushing it in the real estate game. Together, they'll showcase the best of the Duke City. This is All About You, ABQ.
Let there be light. Welcome to YouABQ. Now, the goal of the show is to highlight the best of our city's industry experts in real estate, culture, and lifestyle so that you walk away with some value and feeling inspired. Now, the way we like to do that is to answer the questions you may have or interview the guests you want to see. So we invite you to join the conversation. You can reach out on our social media up here or join our email list to get some timely tips about our community and real estate market. Hey, I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, home loan expert.
Oh, you probably know Grant as the head coach of the Toys R Us hockey team, but now he's absolutely crushing it in the mortgage space.
And you've seen Skip on HGTV, House Hunters, and he's part of the top 2% producing real estate agents in the city.
We've got a long one today. Here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. We're joined by round two with Chidera Onyia. She's a 4-time internationally published model, and she's got some big news to drop on us. She's got a new product coming out. It's an app for all you ladies out there if you like blockchain. So stick around. You're going to learn some more about that.
Yeah, that conglomerate that you were like blockchain. Yeah.
And then again, we're joined by Jeff Nissen of Heights Design and also managing one of the managers at Stately Doors and Windows. So we're going to be talking about wood. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got wood?
I'm a big wood guy. But either way, we got some fantastic guests in studio. And then obviously stay tuned to the end of the show. It's everybody's favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Skip's Tips. Grant, I haven't seen you in a minute, buddy.
It's been a long time, okay?
But
it's been about 3 or 4 weeks.
You've obviously stepped up your fashion game. Give me the rundown on this My Little Pony shirt you got going on here.
Jeffrey? So this will be a kind of an interlude into what I talk about in my Grant's Rants. But yeah, if those who don't know, below our age gap or age generation and people that were older than us who don't care, this is Jeffrey the Giraffe, and he was the Toys R Us mascot. And this guy used to show up in commercials and just pump our tires.
Didn't he roller skate? Wasn't he a roller skating giraffe?
I think he was rollerblading.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was doing. Yeah, he was pretty advanced. But this was. I saw this in a store in Detroit, and I had to get it because I thought I would never see something like that again. It's nostalgic.
Well, speaking of travel, man, a lot of people pick Detroit for vacations, dude, and I'm glad you got to kind of spread your wings and walk down the street.
I wish I had more pictures of that, but Detroit is Albuquerque with like more sports teams and a little bit more history. So Detroit was the richest city in the world at one point in the 1920s and 30s with the flourishing, booming car industry and within the forefront of like theaters and entertainment and such. So I'm fascinated by the fact that this was a thriving, booming town, and it was, went to shrivel and nature took back over houses, and now it's having a resurgence. But yeah, I got to see my first NFL game. Got to see the Lions play. What a good year. So I'm a Lions fan now. I didn't have a football team, but I guess I'm a Lions guy.
Big Lions guy.
And I got to see the Red Wings play, my second favorite sports team.
No, traveling's always great. I had a chance to go to the East Coast, and this is a trip we've been planning for a long time. So, my dad was a ball player. Our whole family were baseball players, and so we had an opportunity to go to the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York.
You look like a guy that used to play for the Padres.
Yeah, you've been following the show. So in Cooperstown, here's my baseball card from when I went to Cooperstown, but there's a couple of cool things, right? And here's just a cool fact about the Hall of Fame. Okay, as of 2024, there's been approximately 21,000 individuals have played at least one inning of Major League Baseball. So keep that in mind, 21,000 players. The National Baseball Hall of Fame has inducted only 273 players into the Hall of Fame. So it's about less than 1%, like 1% of players that have ever played get inducted into the Hall of Fame. So it's really cool because you go and you see the plaques. I mean, you get to spend some time. We went in the off season, which I definitely recommend only because no lines. We had the whole museum to ourselves. And so you could almost feel like just the gravity of it when you actually enter the hall itself. And I took a picture of Babe Ruth's plaque just because I think it's the most iconic, obviously, and just to see like this is our Mecca. This was like our our place. And so he was in the first class that was inducted into the Hall of Fame of 273 players. But just a wild experience, especially getting to do that with my old man, and posing for a picture outside the Hall of Fame. Because here's the thing about the Hall of Fame. It's in Cooperstown, New York. Do you know where that is? No one does. Exactly. You can't get there. It's not like you just take a flight to Cooperstown. You got to go in to Albany and then spend the night and then drive the next day.
I didn't even know it was in New York until I looked it up.
Yeah, so it was a great experience, man. And plus it was East Coast. All the leaves were changing. We were talking about Delaware earlier, but all the leaves were changing, and it was just one of those magical times of year, so I got to spend it with the family.
And your dad's a big deal in Major League Baseball, so he always I don't say downplays, he doesn't mention it, but his dad is quite a momentous figure in the game of baseball. So that was probably cool for him to go see people that he probably played amongst too. And he was featured in a Netflix film and getting almost thrown his face off by Nolan Ryan, almost killed him. Mm-hmm. But I mean, his dad was there and was doing it. So not a lot of guys get to see my dad play pro sports.
Well, a handful of the guys that my dad, always brought around or that we got to mingle with when I was a kid and stuff are enshrined in the Hall of Fame. And the cool thing was we had our own little private tour. And at the end of the tour guide was like, well, I have one more surprise for you. And he pulled out these 2 files. And so it was a file of all of my dad's stats and newspaper clippings and my grandfather's stats and newspaper clippings from the 40s, 50s. And they're like, wait a minute, you guys had, he's like, yeah, we have files on every player. So it was like, my dad is legit in the Hall of Fame.
We also know that you eat at Quiznos too much.
Yeah, you got to cut some weight, boy. So anyways, so it was a cool event, man. That's, since the Ron Bell episode, we've been doing some things.
That's good. That's something else, man. I'm happy for you.
I know, man. I know. What else is going on locally?
So, locally, my bathroom flooded. And so we're about to show you some footage of what happened in my house, what's happening in my house. So, okay, we'll go here. I got a new refrigerator because my refrigerator is almost on fire, making crazy noises, dropping ice. My bathroom, my downstairs in-laws quarters, where Skip used to live, was flooding. And that was the other one with the cement. So let me give you a little story. And then cue up the picture. Here's the remodel. I'm sure my neighbors love this part. Is there a picture, Mark? Okay. There might not be.
Well, either way, so 2 things happened. You got a new fridge, or is the fridge what caused the leak?
No, it's 2 separate issues. But so here's the story on the fridge. So I get the fridge, I buy the fridge, and I go, what's up with...
Kitchen looks great, man.
Yeah. I buy the fridge. I go, what's up with delivery? Free delivery. The guy comes out by a 65-year-old Chinese guy, brings the fridge down in his truck conveyor or whatever. And so he's up with the dolly and he can't make it up the hill. I go, come here, I'll push up. And so the fridge is almost falling over. I'm almost being killed on the fridge that I'm supposed to be in my living room receiving. Rescue the fridge, push it up. He takes it to the mid-living room, 3 steps in. He goes, okay, here? And I go, well, no, not here, because you see the kitchen's over there. And I go, where are you going? He goes, home. So I do the world's strongest man contest and take a fridge, move the other fridge back, and my finger's cut. I'm lucky to be here.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Bios.
Pretty close. My brother, that's how you used to work at Bios, and I used to sing, "You got to move those microwave ovens."
But so then you had a leak in your house too?
Yeah, I had a leak, and so now
did you pull up all the floors and everything?
Yeah, I pulled up all the floors, and then in the bathroom I did the little jackhammer chisel to remove the. Yeah, it's been quite a week. I have new respect for construction workers because your teeth are about to rattle off.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, but I'm okay. I can handle it well.
Well, when it comes to construction, I want to talk just real quick about a new project in Albuquerque's North Valley called Griegos Farms. And this, a little bit of an overview, Griegos Farms is a new residential development in Albuquerque's North Valley, which features cottages in a courtyard setting. So basically these cottages wrap around this big courtyard.
What's a cottage mean?
So that style, that's a cottage style. But they all share the same courtyard, and then they wrap, and they're all rentals. So leasing information, they rent for about $1,600 a month.
Where's this at?
2 and 3 bedrooms. It's in the North Valley.
Okay.
And it's just kind of a new development with new ways of thinking here for Albuquerque. Because so many times, you build those cookie cutter communities that everybody's sick of. So here, this is build to rent, different style, and I think it feels very cohesive into the North Valley style.
So here's what's happening. I like it. I know you like it. here's the naysayers and the complainers, because I saw this happen in Rio Rancho. They go, oh, great, more rentals. And I say, you complain about apartments? Apartments are rentals. This is a step up from a rental, right? So now you get to be in a rental house. What's wrong with that? You're supposed to, and let's say they release the properties to, like, you can put up houses. These people weren't going to be in them, you know? So, like, every time we have a solution, there's people that are complaining about it, and they're acting as if, oh, well, I would have bought one of those 9 houses. No, you wouldn't have.
Well, plus, if you take a look on Zillow and you look at the rental market here in Albuquerque, if you're looking for a single-family home, the inventory is absolutely trash. I mean, nothing's been updated. Nothing's as nice as this project. So welcome in some new opportunity for renters here in town.
And really, the way things are going is multifamily compound, making the most use out of land. And so if you guys are sharing, let's say, what was it, the courtyard? What a genius way of not having to subdivide and having how many houses do the same thing. I think it accomplishes everything an apartment does, but an upgrade from being an apartment.
Yeah, so change is good, especially in the North Valley, man. So we appreciate
and plus, when are you going to get a cottage?
Yeah, you
I love
cottage.
Yeah, the only time I have that is in my fridge. It's
Comes with
cottage
cheese.
cheese. Yeah, there we go.
Here we go.
Dad jokes.
Dad jokes are funny, man. What else has got you going, Ro?
Oh, we're doing a Grant Ranch? Again, that's a fake cigarette. I don't want to go over this anymore. No more viewer mails saying, I thought you didn't smoke. I thought you didn't smoke. I don't smoke. It's a prop, okay? So let's get into the 1980s. And thus, this is what I wore this shirt for. This is Jeffrey the Giraffe, Toys R Us. How fun was it to know that we were going to go to the toy store? So back when we were kids in the 80s and 90s, your parents would take you to Toys R Us, go to pick out some toys. It was something to look forward to. And my main thesis about childhood when we were growing up was we had things to look forward to and not getting things instantly. So we had to wait for movies to come out, or we go to maybe go to a restaurant on Fridays, and it was a big deal. And it seems like things are so immediately available to kids, it's not a big deal anymore. And so what the satisfaction and entertainment and happiness factor goes down a little bit. So we had to wait for that big toy. We had to wait for a movie to come out. We go to the drive-in, that was a big deal, right? And so I think when you don't have kids waiting for things, I think the joy factor goes down. The other thing is, what happened to TPing houses? What happened to egging houses? I don't want mine egged, but I'm telling you, that was pretty fun. And what happened to BMX biking to your friend's house and waiting to maybe go spend the night? And instead of everything so readily available that kids are already kind of spending the night with each other when they're up till Snapchat till 2 a.m. I could go on and on about the 80s. I loved it. I was a product of it and got tough by it. And I don't think the kids it's their fault that they're not tough, but every kid needs to wreck their BMX bicycle about 13 times to realize that your shins are actually made out of metal after jumping so many curbs, and it's okay to get cactus in your hand. Play outside, kids. Get off your phone, hang up, and hang out. Grant's Rant.
Dude, well said, buddy. I appreciate that.
So you have kids. What will you make sure and do with them, knowing that how the trend is?
Yeah, team sports for sure. Playing outside, no cell phones till you're older.
I forgot about that, my Grant's Rants. Okay, so team sports is down 58% to 52%. So in 2022, 58% of kids were playing sports. We're down to 53% in 2025. In 1990, 71% of kids were playing organized sports.
Yeah.
Tells us we have a downward trend. I don't think you necessarily have to do the what would you say, the quintessential sports, but there's a sport for somebody. Whether it be tennis or badminton, like you know.
That's how I grew up.
You got your Letterman and badminton, but there's a sport for everyone. And where I'm going with this, it's conducive to lifestyle, and you don't want sedentary behavior. This is how you get heart attacks and such. So kids playing sports isn't this me having this mantra of let's say, join a team and be a jock, but find something that will be a hobby of yours physically. And I think that's conducive to a long life. Look how we got here.
Yeah, look at how good the show's going. Great. Here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. We're joined in our next segment by Chidera Onyia, a 4-time internationally published model, making her second appearance here on YouABQ. And then obviously stay tuned to the end of the show. It's everybody's favorite Skip's Tips.
Oh, yeah.
This is all about YouABQ. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back to UABQ. I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip, a real estate brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, home loan expert.
We're joined for the second time by Chidera Onyia, four-time international published model, making her second appearance here on UABQ and making a run at Forbes 30 Under 30. She's got a lot to share with us since her last time being on the show. Chidera, welcome back, kid.
Hello, so happy to be back.
Yeah.
Always with a glow about you, too.
So bubbly.
Always a
She's the
pleasure.
most appreciative guest we have. Some of them are like, hi, yeah, I'm here because you told me
Yeah.
to.
Oh, please, it's always a pleasure being on.
Yeah,
Love you guys.
something like the lights just hit you differently. I don't know what it
Of
is.
course, it's maybe the glow.
Maybe the glitter that I have on.
Yeah,
Something.
full body glitter. You've been up to a lot of things since the last time we talked with you, and it's first of all a pleasure to have you back. And so, Forbes 30 Under 30, that's a big deal. So you're making a full run at that. Talk a little bit about
Yes.
your experience so far.
So, obviously coming in, I became a founder for this company about 2 to 3 months ago, but I've been working with the company for the last year. The platform that we're launching is Modus, and so we'll be launching that internationally on 4 different continents in May, which is very exciting. And so one of our advisors actually is on the Forbes Coaches Council. And with the projected revenue that we're kind of looking towards in the next couple of years, I should be able to hopefully, fingers crossed, make that a title of mine by 26. 23, going on 24. I'm closer to 24 now, but we don't have to say that.
That's
yeah.
really big. I mean, Skip and I met each other when we were, 23, 24, and all we were doing was playing magnet darts. In
Yeah,
our
I
office.
lived in my car. But no, good for you, because last time we talked to you, you were excited about doing runway modeling, and now all of a sudden you're talking about investors and spreadsheets and Forbes 30 Under 30. So I
Yeah.
gotta say, UABQ has changed a lot of lives.
Yeah,
and we're just happy to have an impact on your career.
Things
Oh,
skyrocket
literally.
right after people arrive here,
No, it's true. It's true. Life changes when you get on UABQ.
Yeah, it's only up, trust me. That's good. But so you touched a little bit on this new app that you're launching, and it brings together a bunch of tech. Educate us on kind of where it came from and how you got started with it.
Yeah, so the app has been in conception. I mean, I can't take all the credit. Our CEO, he was on Wall Street for over 20 years. We have a whole range of founders that work anywhere from with Def Jam and the NBA all the way to the U.S. Department of Defense. I kind of came in as one of the last. They were looking for someone who could really rep the brand and support the cause. Modus is really about contract management. My story personally and why I'm so passionate about the app is really because when I first started modeling as a career and getting into all of this stuff, I was scammed out of $5,000 signing a contract I thought was going to be my big break. And it's one of those things where the industry that we're in, contracts haven't really changed. Contracts aren't something that's even implemented sometimes. I mean, you could have a model in an agency and have so many hidden clauses. Companies outside of modeling lose about 10% annually. Some companies are losing anywhere from 50 to 70% just from hidden clauses alone. And so I became passionate about it because I felt that it was time to put trust back into the hands of the individual when it came to contract management, especially going into a digital age where that kind of thing is so important and you're dealing with a lot of technology instead of kind of dealing with that face-to-face interaction. And so the nice thing about this is that instead of trying to change the medium as what's been going on, for centuries, we're changing the way that it's being done. And so the contracts that we're doing, that's going to be called the DAD. It's the digital agreement document, and that's the cornerstone to a larger ecosystem for Modus. And so we're going to be able to implement contracts. You can scan your contracts in. Our ChatGPT and AI modern technology can also tell you all the hidden clauses, all the negotiation summaries that would probably be better for you in your favor by state, by industry, which is really, really great.
Well, let's talk a little bit
Let me
about
put my
the
seatbelt
Yeah, get on for the ride.
Hold on. So the AI part of it, I think, is
course.
fascinating because so many times, I mean, look, I'm a knucklehead. He's a little bit smarter than me. But when it comes to contracts, if someone hands you, like, here's a 30-page contract, the detail, it's mostly just, words. You can read it if you
course.
want. So to have an AI model read it and go, hey, by the way, look at paragraph 3 here. You just signed over your kids.
Okay, so help me understand when you
course.
build. What's the keywords, or how does it know? And of course, I'm not asking you to get to the
course.
dynamics of how AI works,
Yeah.
right? But what is something? Is there anything that you guys inject in there that says these are big red flag words? Or
Yes. So what's funny, so our CTO, Sierra Touré, she is actually finishing up her doctorate in blockchain and AI technology. And so she currently works on flying cars right now and just programming it from the AI lens.
Oh, she does too, huh?
Oh yeah, she's huge in the blockchain and AI world. And so for us, it's kind of, with every contract, there are, things where it's like, for example, the build of a contract is very important. Just with hidden clauses, most of them are kind of interwoven within clauses that you would normally skip over towards the last part of the contract where people aren't really reading it. And just with the way that we built the app, there are certain keywords like, percentages, annuals, things like that, where people don't commonly look at those things, where it just flags that and then instantly kind of scans everything to see what it is that they're doing, because those are usually the words where people are then kind of putting their own benefits through it.
okay, I would say this would circumvent maybe heavy, expensive lawyer fees, right?
Oh yeah, especially because we have a licensed mediation tool and escrow. So that's kind of the nice thing. You can attach money to the contracts will hold it for you. You can put deadlines on it. You're getting your money when you're getting your money. And the nice thing too, we do agreements. You don't have to do a contract. So hey, if you have a kid that's going on spring break and you don't really trust the other kid, have them sign that dad and you got an agreement.
That's
and
hilarious.
What do you do do you do any enforcement of contracts? When you say, is that the escrow part where you say, okay, you said this was going to be much, this is what we agreed on, you put it here, and so, okay, that's great to have that.
I think that's fantastic. And so does this work hand in hand with agencies, or does this kind of cut the agency out of it and put you in the driver's seat as the model?
So it puts you in the driver's seat, which is a nice thing too. I know I've had experiences where sometimes agencies are more of a pay-to-play scenario, which isn't really how the standard is supposed to be, and we're trying to really move past that as an industry. So regardless of the industry you're in, whether you're in my industry like fashion, or you're getting into an industry like real estate or business or tech, it's about putting it back in your hands and having the power to really decide if this is how you want to move forward without all of the outside noise from other entities, bigger companies. And it also puts bigger companies in check, because a lot of times you can run into situations where the individual ends up at a loss. And with kind of the 40-year career market starting to shrink, a lot of people are moving towards entrepreneurialism. And so this is huge for that. I mean, this is putting that you could be your own individual entrepreneur. The nice thing too is that we're having a feature called Vest In come out, which I can't talk too much about, but
Oh, come on.
I will say it is really cool. And the nice thing about that too is for anyone that's interested in starting their own company, their own brand, whatever the case, that feature is going to be able to help you raise capital with nothing. And that's what's really, really cool about it. It's really just changing the entire way we're doing business.
So when you threw out some big numbers earlier. When it comes to starting an app or starting a new technology, we know that 99% of them take a nosedive right away, and a lot of it comes because there's not enough funding. You guys have some serious funding behind you.
Yes, so that's kind of what's nice about this is that we are currently finishing up with the Founders Institute. It's one of the most prestigious accelerator programs in the country. We have I'm one of 4 founders that are doing it right now. We're graduating from it in January. But it really prepares you to pitch to investors. We've been doing a lot of angel ventures as well. And what's nice is our first investor was someone that was kind of close contact with our company and has brought a lot of companies up to Fortune 500. And so she will not only be helping us in the investment side, but she will also be joining the board to really guide us towards success. And of course, marketing is huge here. I mean, when you're talking about business and tech, you rarely see an intersectionality between that and fashion, but fashion is everywhere. I mean, even when we're talking about your My Little Pony, that's fashion, And so, and so, I mean, fashion is huge, down to you walking into a business and you selling houses and someone's like, oh, where'd you get that suit from?
Yeah.
And so using that, marketing is about creating a feeling for people and being able to interweave that. And when you're selling something digital, it's about how you make someone feel at the end of the day.
That's kind of crazy. Technology never ends and fashion never ends. You know that, right? But talk to me about maybe the marketing. How do people know about you? How do we get this out?
So this is super exciting. Currently, we are filming a docu-series. We had about over 200 models from all over the country apply to be part of our 2025 campaign. So this is a great way for models to get their names out there if you're a new face.
Did you bring any models with you today?
No, but
Maybe
you may
next
be
time.
meeting some in December.
What about Jeffrey?
I mean, Jeffrey, are you in?
Are you?
But don't leave me alone. Leave. Yeah.
So it's funny because right now we're currently down to our top 12. We're narrowing to our top 6 by the first week of December, but there's a whole docu-series being filmed about it. So that will be coming out in January. And you're going to get to see the whole process of how we got down to the 6, who the 6 are, their whole story.
The premise of this is just
It's crazy.
wild.
Well, I think that's what you have to think
You
outside the
gotta,
box now,
you know?
because
It's
90
fascinating, and I think if you have these two, form a hybrid, right? Just have this like Venn diagram of models, tech, and then like what a crazy sliver.
I know.
Yeah. So where's
Isn't
it?
it?
How will the documentary? Is that
Yes, no, I could tell you a little bit about that. So currently,
inside?
get the inside scoop. I mean, you guys are the first that are receiving any information on this. So YouABQ,
Again.
watch YouABQ. And so basically, we had a bunch of models apply. We used TikTok. We used other avenues. I personally reached out and scouted models as well. So I played the casting director for once. And we all had them come in person. I mean, people were submitting. I mean, we had a couple submissions from Ghana, Nigeria.
That's great.
People coming in really wanting to be a part of it. And then we have a bunch of cameras and things like that going on with the docu-series. We're hoping to option it out to a larger network coming once we finish launching. But it's going to go on YouTube to start. We're going to build that community aspect, have people be able to comment, talk to us so we can interact with them as well. And the models themselves too are also huge on social media, which is really nice. And so they have their own reaches, their own audiences, and a lot of them have different ventures. Some of them are musicians by trade. Some of them are criminology majors still in school. And so a lot of people can relate to them on a lot of different assets, but contracts are all part of, the dichotomy of whatever they're doing.
This definitely has a place in the Bloomberg features.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you guys, I bet you it ends up in there. It has to. This is such an
It's
interesting
crazy.
story, and the propulsion with models and models knowing about blockchain.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not your average
Let's
conversation.
Yeah.
Let's chat more about the app because I think it's fascinating.
course.
So I know you guys are still in beta right now, but you
Yes.
talked about some big things with AI and blockchain. I mean, educate some of us on how blockchain and contracts would go hand in hand and how this app would be beneficial and who
explain
is the
just the
end user?
blockchain period. For those who don't know, the blockchain is a working model. It is how websites go. It's how the business goes. It's not this mythological drive, but I won't tell you.
No, 100%. And I think that's a great way to put it. I mean, it's one of those things where the word blockchain can kind of sound a little scary, especially with things that went on with FTX as well. But blockchain is one of the most secure platforms, especially going into 2025 with the economic climate changing and things of that nature. Blockchain is quickly becoming something that a lot of entrepreneurs are really starting to gravitate towards. And so that alongside the AI side of things and pairing that as well, it's really kind of hard to envision a life moving forward where blockchain isn't going to be more and more integral into this kind of process. And so, the aspect of blockchain is really to protect the contracts, to make sure they're secure, they're legitimate, they're credible, they're legally binding and everything.
So just for blockchain is non-corruptible. You cannot, once a blockchain has been formed, you can't get in the information. You can't
Go edit it.
Yeah, you can't do anything about that, and which is bad news for people who are used to doing that. This is probably the resistance if it had to have a conspiracy theory. Those who would value integrity and want things to stay forthright would love blockchain. Let's talk about No, actually, let me get philosophical here. People that don't understand either AI or blockchain are the ones that go, oh, phooey, that are like, oh my God, it's going to kill us, right? And maybe I'm on a little side of the AI stuff, but I would say that change really scares the previous generation.
Of course.
And they don't want to advance. But I think you've shown some perks as to like, well, let's look at the plus sides. And those of you who don't understand it, spend more time understanding it instead of casting it aside.
Of course. And, what's nice too is that, with the older generations and going into kind of my generation younger than me as well, with technology and things like this, it's coming one way or another. And so it's kind of one of those things where we either have to adapt or resist, but change is going to happen one way or another. And I think that this change, especially the one that our app is presenting, is one that's digestible for, everyone, whether you're talking about people from 65 all the way down to 17. I mean, you have 14-year-olds that are starting businesses at this point. And so it's really also about the fact that me coming in as a public-facing figure, there's sort of a little bit of a, relatableness to it. I mean, a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people my age aren't doing blockchain or aren't talking about that. I mean, like I said, I started off as a model. I came on here this first time I was solely a model by trade. And it's also to kind of show people you can be multifaceted.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, be a chef and also know everything you want about blockchain.
You in your position at your age, with blockchain, I would compare it to a parallel of the Skip and I's, I guess, gravitation to social media. And you have half of our, probably more, hate social media. A lot of guys, especially in our age group, go, that's for girls and that's just stupid and stuff. But I think you're sitting just how we are. We find the need for it. We try to understand it. We're trying to, we're not trying to go, oh my God, I'm so scared of it. We are scared of it. But we're trying to learn. And when it comes to the blockchain, like you're there too, where the younger generation is that's a known. That's their bread and butter. That's their concrete. And you're but you're a liaison. And with the cool thing about being someone who's in the know about technology, it's up and coming, is there's people that are definitely terrified of it, and you can juggle between the two, and you can talk and translate and say, hey, here's what they're trying to say. Oh, I understand you. Almost like engineers and
like layman's terms.
We are
mansplaining.
Yeah,
got
period.
You're a walking mansplainer. Chidera, you have come a long way, well-spoken, and to see you change and blossom and become, a little entrepreneur yourself is fantastic.
Thank you.
And just to think that after this nice, heavy conversation, you're, off to Bikini Week in Miami. So congratulations to your
thank you
success.
so much.
And Forbes
Yes.
covered.
30 Under 30. Keep an eye on Chidera Onyia. Great to have you back, and we'll
Thank
have
you
links
guys for
to your.
having me. Always
to
a
your-
pleasure,
to your-
guys.
You keep it coming.
Coming up next, here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. Jeff Nissen of Stately Doors and Windows, local business here, family owned. So we're going to talk about wood.
I love wood.
Stay tuned. This is all about you, ABQ. Welcome back, segment 3 of YouABQ. I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, still home loan expert.
We're joined
You're
by
home. Remember that?
of the $1 fridge delivery. We're joined by Jeff Nissen of Stately Doors and Windows. Jeff, welcome to this show, man. And here's what I like about you is that, we were both born and raised in Albuquerque, so we kind of love this town. But you came from the Pacific Northwest to the desert. Dude, how in the hell did you end up in Albuquerque?
My fiance, thank you for having me. My fiance is actually from Albuquerque. She went to undergrad and grad at UW in Washington. We met, and then she somehow convinced me to move to the desert.
Wait, so where'd she go to high school then?
The academy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a nice pull, by the way. Congrats on that. Okay, so what's been your experience so far living in Albuquerque? Because I know, look, besides weather, I mean, that's the first thing.
Well, let me touch right there. Him and I, spending time in Victoria, where I spend my summers because I'm a Canadian, we had the same weather. So you know very well what that does to you over the course of a year, right? The 310 days of gray skies versus 310 days of blue skies here. I knew when I got out of bed, it's going to be another day like this. So, I mean, at least right? You speak to that?
I put up some good resistance coming here. More soon to be father-in-law related, but
You can punch them out, man. Look at old boy. What did your father-in-law possibly tell you?
What are you, 6'10"?
Hey, give me your wallet.
How tall are you?
Father-in-law?
6'2".
6'2". You're built like a hockey player.
You're built like Jeffrey.
On roller skates.
But no, it is a big change. At first, I actually really liked it. The no water lakes, we've actually found some really cool lakes here, which has been awesome up in like Cochiti and the Jemez. There's some great things about it. They call it the land of entrapment for, I think, a reason, just because it's where you're going to move with cheaper living and where you're going to move with
because of the walls they built.
Yeah, build the wall.
better weather. I mean, the Sandias are amazing. It's there's some challenges here as well, but it's also those things hopefully we worked out in the next 5 to 10 years with.
Yeah, you don't have to say more. We get it. Well, listen, man. One thing that just to talk a little bit more about stuff that you're into. I know you're a woodworker by trade, and so snooping around on your Instagram at the Heights Design, you had some really cool projects that you've done on the Heights Design as well. Will you talk about your hobby, woodworking, stuff like that?
Yeah. No, that's in moving here. My fiance is flexible. She works at Amazon still remotely. But for me, I was a superintendent. I had to quit my job, and I was looking for planning on taking a year off before I got a job, unthankfully. But I've done woodworking my entire life. My dad was a higher-end carpenter in Washington, so I kind of took that in my blood, and it kind of led me to my position at Stately as well, where we do a super unique company. I've done custom woodworking in Albuquerque for 3 years, just kind of on the side, but then now I do it as a day job as well.
When you were a kid, did your dad have the wood shop? I mean, did you get to step in and see him work all that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I would compare that. So my dad was a mechanic, right? And so I think there's a lot of, I guess,
osmosis.
Apprenticeship, right? About watching how it goes, and you probably knew so much by the age of 12. More so than the guys that are like, I'm going to be a woodworker now, and try that out. Right? Speak to some of your childhood experiences and what it planted the seed in your mind that you want to do it later.
Yeah, I mean, to start off, when I was 12, I got to ride in Bill Gates' Ferrari down the hill because my dad was a superintendent at his house, and then Paul Allen and his mom's build. So he was in the high-end industry.
High-end.
It was pretty high-end, and that's coincidentally that's the industry that I'm in now. Is we generally are in the 20 to 80 million range on new builds, and that's I've asked my dad for contacts sales-wise, which is
that's wonderful.
Actually kind of paid off.
Well, Skip rode in Bill Cosby's Suburban.
Yeah, I got to spend the night at Michael Jackson's house. Hey, real quick, so Stately Doors and Windows, locally owned company.
Yeah, well, it's owned out of Dallas by a family, but it was locally owned here for 37 years. We were previously known as Santa Fe Door. They were massive here, super custom doors. More of the custom doors probably in Albuquerque are from Santa Fe Door. They were super southwestern designs on the wood, unique company. A lot of those companies have kind of died off with the higher cost of carpenters, and it's kind of a privilege to still be in that hand-making industry in an actual thriving business is just pretty.
So
pretty cool.
Are all the doors and stuff, the custom stuff, are they built in Albuquerque here, or do you guys have? Okay, so is there a big warehouse facility, or how does it work?
So kind of on 2nd Street, we just have a massive wood shop. We got 15 carpenters. We do from start to finish design all the way up to staining and top coat. On the wood side, we do extremely unique stuff. When others say no, we say yes. Right now, for a Dallas customer, we're building, if you guys have seen Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit door. We're remaking that door. It's a 12-foot wide by 12-foot tall circle pivot door.
It has a bunch of bad hobbits.
Still unsure how we're gonna fully complete it, but it is. It's just a cool door, and we have the carpenters to be able to kind of take these crazy designs.
So here's the thing. So you have to have obviously an artist in house who can take that vision. I want a door with knobs on it, whatever it is.
Yep.
and then you have somebody that puts it into the CAD machine, basically spits out the plans, and then you have the woodworkers do it. And then when you talk about a 12-foot door or something, you have to have that's a whole nother mechanic to get that delivered and installed, right?
Yeah, when we have
What a specimen.
it's bad. I mean, it's badass. I mean, there's no. It's this offset circle pivot, but we kind of have everything. We have an engineer in house to help us with CAD. Sadly for our customers, I'm more on the design aspect, but more the inspiration picture comes from them. That goes to our CAD, and then we give it to our amazing woodworkers.
Have you ever had someone go, listen, here's what I want, and you go, no, I don't want my name on this thing. I want a Playboy bunny
Yeah, just a
door.
bunch of boobies everywhere.
I haven't had the privilege of that one, but
I like that.
designers are we love our designers because we get a lot of work from them, but they are usually on the extravagant side.
Oh, no, they're very like, I just need something that looks like this with, rose petals, and you're going, oh, this will take 8 months.
That's my day job, is to keep them grounded.
Oh, I meant, what about the customer? Is a customer ever asked for something where you're like, I can't do that, it's insane?
I mean, there's always some weird colors and stuff that
But no design, no like.
Yeah, over the top to where
I mean, we're generally in the higher end industry, so we don't see too much of that like artistic stuff. We get
Yeah, I've seen some pretty rich people do some really gaudy things.
just because they can.
Yeah.
yeah. There's one door we're building right now that's a little different for how much money it is. But
I want a picture of my bulldog.
we've done carvings of horses, quite a bit actually up in Ruidoso. We're doing one right now.
That's pretty cool.
That one is pretty cool. We did the door for her 30 years ago. She came back to us. I think it was a flooding issue, but she wants the door remade, and it's not cheap. We hand carve it. We have a guy on staff that he's been with the company for 20 years, and
You think you can handle my flooding incident?
Yeah, you can
I
put
need
some
2
hardwood
new
floors.
doors, and I guess I would take some Palominos.
Yeah, Palomino covers, or just the basic house. So here's what I want to talk about though. We talked about different climates, like Seattle's very wet climate. You come to Albuquerque, it's very dry. Specifically, are there different types of woods in this climate that are easier, that last longer, that you should be working with versus?
Good question.
Thank you. I think about wood a lot.
perfect.
Wood.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of people go for mahogany. There's different grades of mahogany.
Rich mahogany.
They call it like sapele would be a great form of mahogany. Teak wood is always good, but it's a kind of an unethical wood. A lot of it comes from, I believe, Thailand, and it's sourced unethically. It just devastates forests, so we try to stay away from those. A big one in New Mexico is knotty alder. Knotty alder is a cost-effective wood, but we can also give it it has natural knots in it, and we can give it a southwest flare by doing certain. We have 2 ladies on staff that are sanders and distressors. Distressing a door, they make it look old. So they literally will throw strategically rocks at the door. They'll take
Hit it with
chisels,
chains.
Do
chains.
you need any part-time workers?
Blow
I've
up
been
some
destroying my house for years.
Yeah, you should see how
they-
distressed his property is.
They both went out on PTO, and I thought it was actually pretty easy to do when I first started. I was like, I can do it, and they have a skill set that is second to none. They've been doing it for 17 years each, and it's a lot of the true Southwest door is really an art that isn't able to be brought out by a stupid Seattle guy coming to the desert.
Let's talk about sourcing wood. I think because your company is so multifaceted that whether it's delivery and install and CAD and art and distressing properties. But where do you source locally, or do you have to go? Someone goes a specific wood, and then you got to fly over to China or whatever it is.
Yeah,
So
he has to fly over himself to pick it up. Okay, I've got it now.
I'm back.
we've actually tried to go to China for mahogany. We had cost-effective move. We spent $25,000 on a train load of mahogany, and we did a test in my personal door, and it actually exploded. So its moisture content is massive when it comes to wood. The desert it's so dry here that the wood is one of the bigger. There's construction methods that definitely kind of separate us from the market. We're a true solid wood door. We build like they did in 1900, 1850, whereas most stuff comes from China nowadays, or Vietnam, Brazil. Those are the big the big areas where people get the components trucked in. That's what kind of separates us and why people pay a higher price tag is actually made in here in New Mexico by carpenters. And so when it's you're wanting an asset to the house, not necessarily a product.
So I think there's always a moisture problem we talk about with wood. Is there a problem with you sending something made from here out? Like if, let's say you went to a higher humidity, does the wood get infiltrated?
Does the Palomino's nose start running when you install it?
Over time, yes. So if we sent a door to Seattle, the door would probably explode in time. We did a test. We sent some doors to the Bahamas, and I got a free Bahamas trip out of it. But the doors did then end up exploding, so we remade those doors. And we kind of learned the hard lesson of moisture inside wood when it gets reintroduced.
What do you do about it?
There's different construction methods that we have changed to. We're different. The core of a door is super important, and it's not necessarily the core of the door or the inside. It's called a stile and a rail. The stile is the long portion on the sides, and then you have a cross member, which is called a rail. So we build those in-house in Albuquerque. We have 2 positions solely dedicated to that do they do finger jointed, stave core style to where it's mahogany through and through.
Okay.
It is a stable wood, and we're able to ship it kind of throughout the U.S. Stately is a little bit. We're set up in a different way where we do large projects throughout the entire U.S. We're the technically, as our most recent acquisition, Riley Architectural out of New York, we're the largest custom door manufacturer in the world now.
I was going to say, who's your competition? Are there other shops like you guys? Or
There's some local Albuquerque shops that our goal is to build Albuquerque, so we don't talk crap about any.
Do you want us to?
Yeah, you want me to take somebody out?
No, they're smaller. We're the only one that is large that can handle a full house package or 2. A lot of them we have good relationships with, and it's a different industry, and we pride ourselves on just being the asset to a home, not a product. Fire ratings become massively. There's safety things where it's all about the gases and the temperature that reach the other side of a door. So we're a fire rating facility, and we can put a tag on it when most companies have to purchase a fire door. So if you use a standard hollow core door from Builder's First Source or Home Depot, you're going to have 5 seconds if there's a fire.
My place is going up in about 9. The whole thing.
No, good thing everything's
one big bottle rocket.
Everything's wet at your house.
There's crocodiles. Once you get past them. Yeah.
But it's when you do it with true wood, you actually have 20 minutes to escape because it has to reach 751 degrees on the other side of the door. That's where firefighters generally don't break down the door. They go from the roof because of oxygen. As soon as you break into the oxygen, up in flames.
You lose your eyebrows quickly.
You know a lot, man. But between our 2 guests, they're like, well, here's what you want to do about space exploration. Okay, what?
No, that's great, Jeff. So if somebody wants to place a custom door order in town, go to the website? Do they have like a full consultation? Walk me through the whole process.
We still have SantaFeDoor.com. We're StatelyDoor.com. We also recently acquired a company called Wholesale Iron Doors out of Houston. It's tough for us to sell our product in New Mexico. Cost is higher. We're a different kind of product, but we've strategically brought in steel doors to make us a little more cost effective in New Mexico. It's still an asset to the home. You don't have to do fiberglass. You don't have to do aluminum. The way I kind of tell people when they're having a tough time deciding, it's like if you get in a car wreck, the outside body is aluminum. That looks, like a bomb went off, whereas the frame of the car, the structure is steel. So those generally aren't damaged. When you're dealing with a door, you have a security function, you have a longevity. We give a long-term warranty with our steel doors, and that's kind of the benefit of. We put automotive paint on it, the UV from New Mexico, and the harshness of the sun here with the heat. Yeah. Wood doors sometimes aren't going to line up. It depends on, or hold up. It depends on the application. If you're in full sun every day, it's not smart to put a wood door, and that's on our education of doing things the wrong way for.
Well, especially if you're spending $30,000 on a door or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, what's the most expensive door
So right now, the 12-foot wide by 12-foot tall, it has a triangle transom and it's a circle pivot door.
For the castle?
It's
That's
a big
what
house.
actually, and when we built the moat bridge,
Yeah,
that was also part of it.
He's got a lot of money. It's about $190,000 door, which is
Let's have
I thought it was
Thanksgiving there.
expensive.
Yeah, what is this?
Okay,
First home?
Yeah, was this Mickey Mouse?
Jeff, it's fantastic information, man. We appreciate you coming by the show. We'll have links to your website and how people can get in touch for some custom doors.
And maybe I need a door for all the times when I have like my hockey player friends come over and they light some of my furniture on fire, I swear to God, and I might need one of your doors to protect the people inside that don't want to be a part of it.
710 degrees, is that what you said? Yeah. All right, Jeff, thank you. I appreciate you coming by. Jeff Nissen from Stately Doors and Window, handing out jobs in Albuquerque and putting a southwestern flair on.
I'm going to be
some
the head
custom
rock
doors.
thrower. That's for sure.
Coming up, stay tuned to the end of the show. It's everybody's favorite,
yeah.
Skip's Tips. This is UABQ.
Welcome to our fourth segment. What great guests we had on. I learned so much really fun between the extravagant door industry and where blockchain's headed, supermodels, we got woodworkers, and now we have Skip's Tips.
Oh, yeah.
Skip's Tips are anything that saves us time, makes us more money, allows us to have more fun in real estate or real life. I'm just going to have a little conversation here with Grant. So the biggest mistake I see right now with home buyers in this market is not budgeting for the additional costs associated with buying a home. Let me explain. During the buyer consultation, it's great. We sit down. Congratulations, you have enough money for your down payment. But did you know there are some additional costs associated with buying that first home? Did you budget for your closing costs, your moving costs, repair costs, property taxes, HOAs, and homeowners insurance? Well, the good news is that in New Mexico and Albuquerque in our market, you can buy a home for as little as 3.5% down, which works out to $10,000 to $15,000. But that's just for your down payment. Did you know? To cover the additional costs associated with your new home purchase, you'll need to budget an additional $5,000 to $10,000 to make sure that all your bases are covered. Yeah, that's one thing that most home buyers who have never done it before forget to budget for. So, sticker shock? Yeah. What's been your experience when buying a new home? Leave a comment in the section below, share this with a friend, and tell them Skip said so.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty smooth. Yeah, great episode, dude. You hit it.
We're
right on the
filming
head.
again?
Oh, we're back.
Okay.
Hey, good to see you.
Okay, or this wasn't a rough draft?
Giraffe.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Another great episode every day on Channel 27 and the Education Channel.
24/7 on Channel 27. It is the UABQ channel. Wide.
This is a very prestigious show. I've always thought that. Stick around till next week. You're going to love our next episode.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson.
Thanks for tuning in. This is all about you, ABQ.
You're watching YouABQ.